Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday night call. We do this call on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. It's not a call, it's actually a webinar. And we're really excited that you're here with us tonight to find out a little bit more about some really unique strategies that we've developed for getting out of debt in 2020. So this material has been prepared for informational purposes only. I'm not a CPA. I am not a bookkeeper, and Jill is neither of those things either. However, we are fairly well versed in a lot of different options that you have as a home-based business owner for expensing some things that you might be surprised about. In fact, Jill's going to share. Jill's just been through getting her own taxes done and taking a lot of notes that she's going to use to help us and really point out some things that I think that you're going to be surprised about. So again, not a CPA, not a bookkeeper, just somebody who's done their homework. So the impact of debt on our lives. I mean, debt is an epidemic in this country, just like obesity is an epidemic in this country, right? And it's really, really impacting people's lives. It's impacting relationships. It's impacting marriages. It impacts our self-esteem and our confidence. It impacts our health to a major extent and sends, the stress levels, sends cortisol rocketing, and it absolutely, absolutely impacts our happiness. So I wanted to share a couple of stories with you. This is my friend Christina. I'm gonna just move this up so I can see.
Dawn, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. So sorry. So Christina went to college for 8 years. She got an amazing job as a physical therapist. She works really hard. She works a lot of hours. It's very physical work. Physical therapy is actually very physical work. And she has mind-numbing, back-breaking $200,000 in student loan debt. And so here's Christina. She went to college, did what she was supposed to do. She got a really good job. And she has to work a second job right now, just in order to make ends meet and just in order to make her paycheck last, right? She's working 2 jobs. She actually works during the week as a physical therapist, and she works at Outback Steakhouse and to just bring in some extra money. And she has no time off. She has no time to see her family and friends. And the stress, the impact on her relationships, again, the impact on her health is staggering. This is my friend Shannon. Shannon is awesome. Shannon is Nathan's mom. And Nathan was born with only 1 leg. And so Shannon, before Nathan was born, had a career as a radio broadcaster. So she had a great career. And Nathan was born, and she is a full-time caregiver to Nathan and loves every minute of it. She'll tell you. But she went from a great job as a radio broadcaster and now has no access to additional income and has constant medical expenses. Insurance, a prosthetic limb costs about $10,000, and insurance will only cover so many a year. And you know that medical bills can rack up really quickly. And then there's my friend Jill. Jill's on the call right now. Jill, can you share your story?
Of course, I'm happy to. I think you see that you're seeing a series of stories of type A, responsible mothers, people who are caretakers, and no matter how much you plan your life, things happen. The attitude happens. And for me, I was married to my college sweetheart, with him for 18 years, and I got surprised with a separation and divorce. And not only was that painful, it was frightening, because all of a sudden I was losing the second income that we really relied upon in this household. And I have a child, and at that time she was 8 years old, and the idea of not only losing her sort of family, having separate homes for her mom and dad, just that confusion, then if I was going to have to move and downsize and just change everything in our lives, it was really a lot to handle. Would I be able to even save for her college? Would I ever be able to retire? So many things were swimming in my mind. And using a lot of the strategies we're going to share tonight, I have a success story. And we'll go into that a little later on.
Okay. What could an extra $500 a month do? If you were able to generate in disposable income, let's say, an extra $500 a month, studies have shown that an extra $500 a month could save 50% of marriages from divorce. Marriages because of the financial stress, right? Studies have shown that 88% of home loss and foreclosure could be avoided just with an extra $500 a month. So an extra $6,000 a year, right, over time. And that extra $500 a month, with that extra $500 a month, Americans could actually get their debt paid off. Because right now, 78% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. Not one penny going into savings, no rainy day fund, no safety net, just barely, and usually more month than money. So as a population, we're over $12.58 trillion in debt, and it would actually take 18 years to pay off the average American's credit card balance. And just like I was referring to earlier with Shannon, 41% of working age Americans have medical debt. I mean, the medical debt, like that can knock you flat on your feet, and a lot of people never recover. 70% of college students graduate with significant amount of student loans, just like we were talking about earlier with Christina. And I actually read a statistic that said that 4 out of 10 millennials will graduate with significant college debt. And it takes forever to take back. I know a lot of people in their 50s who are still paying college loans. I mean, that's 30 years later, still paying college loans. What we're going to talk about tonight is a two-pronged approach. It's a really unique strategy that we have of attacking debt kind of from both sides and letting you bring home more of your paycheck, make everyday purchases with pre-tax dollars, and generate tax refunds, sometimes generous, right, Jill? Wait for it. Jill's got a great story to share with us later. You're going to be amazed because she did. She just went through it and just finished her taxes. Generate tax refunds to pay off debt and create an additional income stream. It is the beginning of 2020. It's the beginning of a new year. It's the beginning of a new decade, and it's time for a plan. I mean, it is time. It is time to change your financial blueprint. What if in 2020, what if you could actually pay off all your credit cards? What if you could actually have a plan to fund your kids' college with pre-tax dollars? What if you could actually create that magic number, $500 a month, $6,000 in a year of disposable income? What would that be like? And what if you could actually make money while you sleep? What if this year you took control of the reins and you set in motion a 5-year plan to retire from your job, pay off all your consumer debt, fully fund your retirement, work a part-time job for a full-time income? What if your 5-year plan was to actually have all of those things and be able to pay for a fairy tale wedding for your daughter? What if it was also to do all of those things and take your family on the trip of a lifetime? You know, a Disney cruise or a trip to Paris or something that you've always dreamed of. What if that was possible? So my name is Dawn Cermak. I have been a business owner for 30 years. I am completely unhireable at this point. So thank God Jill and I figured all of this out, because thank God we figured out the strategy and the residual income thing, because otherwise I'm not really sure what I would do right now. And as a result of being an entrepreneur for 30 years, I've been dealing with accountants, and not H&R Block accountants, really high-priced accountants. And I just discovered just this year that I have been leaving a lot of money on the table because not every accountant is really well versed and focused on all of the tax strategies that are available to home-based business owners. So I used to run a big special events production company. I also had a small landscaping business, and now I have a virtual online health and wellness business that I run completely from home. I have access to all of the home-based business tax benefits, and I actually can operate my business from anywhere in the world. I just came back from Madrid. I was in Madrid for 5 days. I was actually doing some training there, which was really fun. I have operated my business from Thailand, from London, from Italy. So wherever I am, as long as I have my phone and Wi-Fi, I can run my business. Jill, do you want to tell your story? I'll tell it for you.
Yes, sorry, my internet was doing something funny.
Huh?
Sorry, my internet all of a sudden flaked out. So, just roll with it. I'm rolling with it. I'm Jill Knerr. I am a single mother, and I work full-time as a chief operating officer at a nonprofit. I launched my part-time virtual home-based business in 2017. And this business allowed me, leveraging its tax deductions, to remain financially independent from my ex-husband, who was an attorney. And so he had a good income, and to stay in my family home. And it's been a lifesaver for me.
So what we're talking about tonight is a bridge to your dreams, right? We all have dreams, like I was saying, like pay off all your credit card debt, take that once in a lifetime family vacation, fund the fairy tale wedding. Maybe your dream is to go to Africa and build an orphanage. Maybe it's just to get home to your kids. Maybe your dream is to retire your husband early and buy an RV and just travel around the country. Whatever it is, here's your dream out here. And what we're talking about today is starting to lay the tracks of the foundation for that bridge. So we can actually get you from where we are on this side of the river over to the other side of the river. Not only will we help you get really clear on what those dreams are, what they Kathy, I think that's you. Can you mute out? There we go. So not only will we help you, get some clarity on Okay, got her. Get some clarity on that big picture, but we'll also help you create that very detailed roadmap for how to get there. We have simple, effective strategies that you can start applying today. Tonight, if you so choose. So we're talking about those juicy extras, right? We talked about the big stuff. We talked about the dreams. What about the little stuff? What about, getting a housekeeper? What about you being able to eat out once a week? What about, Jill and I were just talking about it. What about being able to get a gel manicure instead of press-on nails, right, Jill? And what if you could actually just say yes to your kids more and actually have a savings account, have a rainy day fund? Around here, it's necessary because in the area where we live in Washington, D.C., and furloughs, unfortunately, have become very common. So there's a lot of people in this area who really need that safety net. They really need that savings account, and they don't have it. So the furlough comes and the mortgage is due, and what do you do? So I have a question. Do you love spending time with your family? Because I do. Do you like to visit your family? Maybe you have kids that live in other cities. Maybe you have grandbabies in other cities. Maybe your parents live in Florida. Do you like traveling to see your family? Well, what if you could actually get paid to do it? Because I do. So I have created in my life, here's your strategy number one. My kids live in Chicago and Seattle. And I just went out to visit my kids for Thanksgiving. two of my three kids. Chicago is a 1,400-mile round trip, 700 miles from here. And at the IRS reimbursable rate of 58.5 cents a mile, which was last year, that's $816. $816. So I was able to write off my trip because my kids are part of my business. They're part of my team. And so I make sure when I go to visit my family, we conduct business so that my trip is a business expense. Because the truth is, if you're a W-2 employee, that's not available to you, right? What are you talking about, Dawn? You know, your kids on your team, they're part of your business. What does that even mean? That's because you're part of tax system number one, which is the W-2 system. There's two tax systems. There's a system for W-2 employees and there's a system for home-based business owners. And what happened is in 2018, there used to be a lot of deductions that people, even though they were W-2 employees, they could take. They could take some of the same expense, those home-based business expenses if they worked from home. Well, that deduction's been completely taken away. So all of those personal deductions, including the home office deduction, are no longer accessible to W-2 employees, but they continue to be accessible to home-based business owners. We want to talk about how taxes impact your take-home pay. I think everybody knows, right, that you start out with your gross income, you have your nice big, your nice big income number, and then they start chipping away, right? You've got your federal, which is the big nut, and then you've got state income tax, and you've got your FICA and your Medicaid, and then what else comes out of your paycheck? Your 401k money, your healthcare deductions. So your gross salary, what the gross salary number is and what the number is that actually ends up in your pocket are two really different numbers. And what we talk about with our strategy is how you can actually bring home more of that paycheck because you're going to be saving money in taxes, right? We use a number of a net effective tax burden of about 30%, which is actually a very conservative number. You'll see it in the slides in just a little bit, how that 30% makes such a big difference. So strategy number one, be a W-2 employee. Strategy number two, which is what works for us, is be able to take all the tax benefits and all the advantages of owning your own home-based business, and in addition, start creating additional wealth, start creating additional residual income, build real wealth, not just for yourself, but for your family. I mean, and I know you think I'm crazy, right? But the thing is, in my business, my family members and the people I care about are able to get paid on the work that I do. Are you interested in creating significant income without spending a significant amount of time? And there's that make money while you sleep again. What is that make money while you sleep? Well, I make money while I sleep. Every morning when I get up, the first thing I do is I go and I turn on my computer and I say, let me see how much money I made last night while I was sleeping, every day. So we're going to let the numbers speak for themselves. If you can see this screen, you can see these are just some examples of some different tax deductions that may be available to you as a home-based business owner. And a lot of these things are things that you're purchasing anyway. I mean, a lot of us have, printers at home. A lot of us have home laptops. A lot of us have, obviously, cell phone, data plan, internet plans. A lot of us go out to eat, right? Well, what if when you went out to eat and you went out with another couple, what if that meal was tax deductible? What if you are a personal growth junkie like me and like Sherry, who's on this call? What if you're attending personal growth training and personal growth seminars was actually a business expense. I mean, it makes such a big difference. And so all of these things that we're here, these are just examples of some of the expenses or some of the things that you have access to be able to write off as a home-based business owner. And this, we're not even talking about the home office deduction here. We kind of treat that as a separate animal. It has its own rules. And, but this $10,000 potentially of, again, expenses that you're already, it's like spending money on the things that you're already spending money on, but getting money back. Like this, this just happened. Right before Christmas, my phone broke and my computer, actually I have two other computers and they both had major issues, and I decided that it was time to bite the bullet. So I went out and got a MacBook Pro, and I got an iPhone 11. And the price tag for those two things was $3,800 for the MacBook Pro and the iPhone 11. Now, for me, I had to generate $3,800 in income to spend that $3,800 because these are business expenses for me. I bought them both specifically for my business. They are absolutely 100% business expenses. Somebody else, and there were a lot of somebody else's in the Apple store that day. And those somebody else's were a lot of them were buying these things. There were MacBook Pros flying off the shelf. There were iPhone 11s. I think they ran out because people were buying them so fast. So all of those somebody else's that were in that Apple store buying the same thing that I was buying, well, they needed to generate $5,500 in income, in salary, if you will, in order to have the $3,800 to spend, right? That's a big difference. I had to make $3,800 to spend $3,800. They had to make $5,500 to spend $3,800 using that average tax rate of 30%. So just think about that. I mean, who on this call just recently, in the last year bought an iPad? Who on this call recently bought a new cell phone, a new printer, another piece, some other piece of office equipment, a scanner, a new video camera? I actually just went out and got a video camera because I do a lot of video recording. It's a business expense. So I think hopefully you're starting to see, hopefully you're starting to get the idea that being a home-based business owner is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. There's actually books out there that say you'd have to be brain dead not to own your own home-based business. Like this is an actual solution that people that do tax strategy advising, it's the number one thing they advise. You want to bring home more of your income? Go start a home-based business. But it can be really scary for people who haven't done it. Now, I've been doing it for 30 years. I opening a home-based business, having another LLC or having another partnership or having a sole proprietorship, it doesn't faze me a bit. But there's a lot of people that just makes their head spin. Sole proprietor, S-election, LLC, partnership, like a lawyer. Like, how do I don't even know the first thing about how I would incorporate a business. And, do I need upfront cash? Because a lot of those franchise, just to even think about starting a franchise, you have to put $50,000 or $100,000 up, right? And that's for something that's already kind of figured out. That's not, a brick and mortar, brick and mortar businesses. If you wanted to start a brick and mortar business, i.e. have a retail storefront, you end up with a 10-year lease. I mean, things like that can really paralyze people. And then you're thinking, do I need to hire a lawyer? I don't have a skill. What's my skill? I don't have a product or a service to offer. I'm not good at making anything. I have no idea. Great. I hear you, Dawn. Home-based business sounds like a good idea, but what on earth would I do? And that all of that just completely paralyzes me. Well, we have an easy solution. We have a business in a box. And you don't need to completely empty your savings to get started. And you don't need to invest in a ton of inventory. You don't need to set aside a whole room of your house to have extra inventory. You don't need to be at the post office every day, you know, shipping, and you don't need to be billing. You don't need to worry about employees. You don't have to worry about payroll tax. You don't have to worry about any of those things. And you have a whole team of people in place ready to guide you and help you be successful. After a lot of research, would you like to know which business Jill and I chose? We found a company called Isogenics. Jill, do you want to tell them about Isogenics?
I would love to share about Isogenics. I think Dawn and I, really pride ourselves on having done a lot of due diligence and looked into a lot of options, knowing that we could leverage a home-based business. But not all home-based businesses are alike. With Isogenics, it's an ethical, family-owned company with no operational debt, which is a lot, saying a lot. Health and wellness products created with no compromised quality. They have a scientific review panel. We have peer-reviewed journal publications about the efficacy of the products. You can put your reputation behind the company and the products and feel really good about it. We talked about the low cost to start up, the fact that it's a virtual business. A lot of businesses, home-based businesses, you have to do parties, have inventory, do distribution. None of that. It's very simple. And Dawn will talk about this a little bit more on the next slide. You can redirect normal monthly expenses because it's health and wellness. Believe me, you are already using a lot of the products that you would sell out of your own health and wellness store. And if you purchase them through your own health and wellness store, you actually earn money on those purchases, and you then qualify for the tax deductions of a home-based business. It's truly a win-win. And with our system, with this webinar series, we have a duplicatable system. You invite people to this webinar, and as you learn, you can start earning. Dawn and I are going to do the legwork for you.
A lot of businesses, like I said, franchise fee, $50,000, $100,000, and that's not too bad, right? $50,000, $100,000. This business, to get started, to actually open the doors to your own home-based business, literally $160. That's what it costs to get started. What Jill was talking about with that redirected spending, that $160 you're spending, that's not on, oh, I get to say I'm in business. You're actually spending $160, and that first, even just that first $160 that opens the door to your own home-based business, you're spending it on products that you're already buying anyway. So all you're doing is taking your grocery money and your money that you're spending at, at GNC, the money you're spending at Costco, the money that you're spending at the drugstore on protein shakes, on meal replacement bars, on energy drinks, on coffee, on vitamins and supplements, on skincare. You're taking money that you're spending anyway, and you're spending it at your own health and wellness store. And you're getting a rebate. And that's the business. This is the business model. It's you have your own health and wellness store. It has over 120 products in it. You shop at your own health and wellness, virtual health and wellness store once a month, and you show other people how to do exactly the same thing. And the way that you show them is getting them on this phone call. That's how you open the doors and start inviting clients to be part of your business. So, are you ready to launch your home-based business? Is this an idea that you think you could wrap your head around? Would you like to have all of 2020, 100% of 2020 be tax deductible? It's really, really simple. So all you have to do, for starters, is get people to this presentation. People who want to pay down their debt. People who could benefit from bringing home more of their paycheck. People who have an entrepreneurial spirit. People who like the idea of creating multiple income streams. People that are real go-getters. People who you know that are desperate to get home to their kids. Like, how many of you know people just like that? How many of you know people that if you got them in this call, they would hear what you're hearing and would be interested in doing exactly the same thing? Now, maybe you're thinking, well, I have a home-based business idea. I've been thinking about it forever. So maybe I should just do my home-based business. And you can. However, what you're going to get if you join our team and do what we do is you're going to get help with recruiting. You're going to get these webinars as a tool that are available to you to bring people to so that they can hear the same message. You're going to get ongoing one-on-one support, and you're going to get access to weekly tax saving strategies. Things that we, again, Jill's my TurboTax expert. I've got access to accountants and she's got access to TurboTax. And between us, we actually have a lot of knowledge. We actually have a lot of, we're a couple of the things that we told you about tonight, just the tip of the iceberg, right? Just the tip of the iceberg. How can you write off your housekeeping? How can you write off your house cleaners? How can you write off manicures and pedicures? And how can you write off go into the hair salon? And how can you write off a brand new pair of shoes? Well, just stick with us. We'll tell you how. You're going to learn all of those things, and we're going to show you how to document everything so that you're all set up, that everything is organized, and that you can feel confident that everything you're doing and everything you're going to take to your accountant is all, you have all your I's dotted and all of your T's crossed. That's what we're doing. For our team, that's what we do. For our team, we have all that information at hand. So Jill, if not now, when? I know that you just recently, you're coming to the end of getting your taxes done, your 2019 taxes done. Do you want to share with everybody what your before and after was? Before being able to take home-based business deductions and after being able to take those deductions?
Yeah, I get really excited at tax time, and I actually posted something on my Facebook saying, who's excited? And I think everybody thought I was being facetious, but I get excited because I just start seeing as I enter the deductions, and I have so many that apply to my home-based business. And I have to tell you, that great chart we showed earlier where you could deduct $10,000, that is not even touching on a home office deduction, which you can have with a home-based business. And that's a whole nother level, which I do leverage. First, I want to share a couple things that I was able to do in 2019, knowing that I could write it off, things that I didn't say no to. I'm divorced. I have a lot of friends who go and get beautiful photo shoots with their families. I got a professional photo shoot with my daughter Poppy and me last year, and I'm able to use those images for my social media and for my business, and I can write that off. And that was not inexpensive, but it was such a beautiful thing to experience with her. And it was really bonding, and now we have these beautiful pictures that we have all over the house, and I'm so happy. I did a 9-day women's leadership retreat, and it was, you travel, it's a treat. It was not something I would normally just spend money on, but that is actually my personal development and personal growth, and it actually helped me build my business, and that is deductible. There are just so many more fun, juicy things that I did in the last year, and I'm going to do this year. This year, I think a few of you know, I'm going to Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within, and that is my big professional development this year, and that has been a big bucket list item for many years. So as I went through, and I'm not even done with my taxes, for 2018, when I did my taxes in 2019, I got a nice chunk of change back. And I thought, wow, why don't I increase my exemptions, get more money throughout the year, because, I know I'll at least break even at the end of the year. Well, I increased my exemptions, and I was bringing home about $250 more a paycheck. And now I'm filing, and I thought, well, I'll break even. What if I owe? I'm not even done with my taxes, and I'm up to about a $7,000 return. Not deductions, that's actually cash that I will have in my pocket, and I'm not done. So I just cannot say enough how this has lightened my load. I stopped paying all this money to Uncle Sam, who we know doesn't really need it. And, you know, I'm a single working mother. I need this. And it's basically learning the secrets of the 1%. They're all doing it, and we need to be doing it too.
So if not now, when? Be like Jill, right? Be like Jill. Have a $7,000 refund coming coming in the mail. Be like Jill. I say, take action tonight. Like, what are you waiting for? Do you think a better opportunity is going to come down the pike? And even if it does, start your business tonight. $160, right? Because we don't even have a membership fee anymore. $160 to get started, and $160 every month to have access to this whole system that we've created to learn what's possible for you and start taking home more of your paycheck. So like I said, that $160 isn't just, it's not, you're not throwing it away. You're actually getting something with it. And you can see on this list of things here, but this Isagenix is a health and wellness company. We have over 120 products, all different. We have essential oils, we have energy products, we have products for kids. So you want to pick one of the starter packs. If you want to just say, you know what, I'm totally in, let's get this going, let's get my tax benefits rolling, then pick one of these starter packs. If you need more information, then just contact the person that got you to this call. They can help you figure out which of the products are best for you and it will best help you meet your health and wellness goals. It's not, and if you don't like them, if you don't like the products you picked, you can return them for a full money back guarantee. It's when we're talking about tax benefits, believe it or not, and Jill and I love these products. We use a lot of them. I use way more than this every month in products because I live on these products. They are the most cost-effective, time-efficient way to get good nutrition in your body, period. I don't know what I would do without them, but so it's kind of like it's an absolute total win-win because the products are amazing. The products help you with your health. The products will give you results, and buying the products and sharing this opportunity, this call, or the products you choose with other people gives you access to those tax benefits. So this is your opportunity to get started getting out of debt in 2020. Launch your home-based business. It's as easy as sending a text. If Jill or I are one of the ones that brought you to the call, just send her a text and text her the pack number that you want, or text her and say, I'm ready to get started, just need a little more information, need some help figuring out which products are going to work for me. It really is that simple. And again, when you're a member of our team, you're going to get access to those tax strategies. You're going to get, Jill can tell you specifically how you can use TurboTax, or we'll tell you the kind of things you need to talk to your accountant about, and we'll tell you now at the beginning of the year, instead of you finding out at the end of the year, oh my God, I should have done all these things. And if I'd have known, oh, next year I'll do them. We'll tell you what to look out for. We'll tell you the kind of things you might be able to write off. And then you can confirm all of that with your own accountant or CPA. But we'll have our own Facebook group. On our team, we have our own Facebook group that's dedicated just to talking about this, the tax benefits of owning your own home-based business. We would love to have you join us. And today is the day. Thanks so much for getting on the call. Stop recording.